On behalf of your presenters, June, Wanda, Will, and Nikisha, we thank you for viewing our presentation. We look forward to your feedback and rich dialogue.
What exactly is self-censorship? Self-censorship is the act of censoring one's own expressions, ideas, opinions, or thoughts about a particular topic due to fear or pressure. This visual representation shows 97% of librarians' time is spent weighing the effects of controversial subject matter when making book purchasing decisions for reasons such as perception of community values, fear of facing challenges, stress, and personal beliefs. In this graphic representation, the data provides additional details as to why librarians fear facing challenges by parents, administrators, and other community stakeholders when making book purchases, such as sexual content and inappropriate language with 66% and 41% respectively, and the LGBTQIA and violence tie at 29%, and drug, suicide, and racial ethnic stereotypes are 24%, 23%, and 21% respectively. Finally, this graph's data shows what influences librarians to not make book purchases. On a professional level, most of the influences come from publishers, suggestions of age, grade range, books not deemed appropriate, and reviews. However, the data shows how personal influences can have a major impact on the reactions of parents, administrators, and community based on metro status.
Selection versus self-censorship. The procedure for purchasing books should consist of a library committee. The library committees review and recommend books for purchase. Recommendations come from student input based on student interest, teacher input, and professional publication recommendations and books that align with state teaching standards. Should parents question books in the media center, there is a book reconsideration procedure that is followed. Self-censorship has no place in libraries. Self-censorship takes away the right to choose and read desired books and impede on intellectual freedoms. Self-censorship is judgmental and gives a select few the right to say what others should and should not read. The psychological effect of self-censorship has a negative effect on self-worth and self-esteem. According to researchers, when people feel fear, vulnerability, or conditional approval, they increase their vigilance and may choose to protect themselves by masking or suppressing their self-expressions. Self-muting can result in reduced self-esteem and feeling of loss of oneself. According to the ALA.org/advocacy website, there are lists of banned and challenged books. Please take a moment and review the following slides, where others share their thoughts about banned books and challenged books in our society.
The effects of self-censorship as it relates to the collection. It ignores the review procedures. Houston notes in silent censorship, when a book is challenged for removal, it often opens a discourse. If the book never makes it to the shelves, discussion never happens. Next, it creates a lack of collection diversity. In Yarrow's article, Challenging Time, when SLJ asked about subjects that have led to not purchasing a book, sexual content and profanity were the top two responses at 66 and 43% respectively. The presence of an LGBTQIA plus character or theme in a book led to 29% of respondents to decline a purchase, increasing to 42% in small towns and rural communities. And lastly, it leads to books never being purchased. And this creates a long-lasting impact on school library collections. And this was shown in a SLJ survey written by Yarrow. As a result to students' freedom to read, the effects of self-censorship violates the First Amendment rights and the rights to receive information. Shamra concludes in her Do Minors Have First Amendment Rights article that students in public schools have rights under the First Amendment, citing the First Amendment prohibits government entities from unconstitutionally infringing rights of free speech. Further noting that this includes the right to receive information. Next, it violates Library Bill of Rights noted in the American Library Association. And lastly, it reduces intellectual discourse. In Duffy's article, Fighting the Rising Tide of Book Challenges in Our Country and State, in regards to limiting student access, it cuts away student access and reduces intellectual discourse and eventually contributes to the erosion of democracy.
Hello, my name is Will Cofield, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about these slides that I did for our Intellectual Freedom Project. So the first slide that you can see is mine is why would a librarian choose a particular book? And this goes along with self-censorship and how to self-censor and why to self-censor. So I highlighted a couple of about 5 points here that I found on from a resource that is cited at the end of our slideshow. And you can see that the first couple ones are, it's the next book in a popular series. So Harry Potter, Nicholas Sparks, Percy Jackson, so on and so forth, Aragon, that kind of stuff. It's an autobiography on a famous sports star or ex-president. A lot of students are interested in those types of things. It's from a neutral perspective, and it's not going to offend anyone. That's a big kicker nowadays. Recommendations from patrons. And then they've taken a poll in the student's interest and can recommend one they might be interested in. So as we go to the next slide, let's talk about the most frequent reasons to self-censor. So a big kicker that I saw was to stay neutral on politics. You don't want to offend anyone. Again, that's a big thing nowadays. And you don't want to suggest a book to someone that is more graphic than they are expecting it to be or that they're used to. And so as we go to this next slide, kind of going on the part of most frequent reasons to self-censor, there was a survey done, or there was a blog post that Andrea Jameson wrote on her blog. Her blog's titled Intellectual Freedom Blog, and it's about a survey that was given to 653 school librarians in 2008. And the survey was given by School Library Journal and polled the participants on self-censorship. The results are listed below, and these are the most frequent reasons that people self-censored. 87% self-censored sexual content, 61% self-censored language, 51% because of violence, 47% because of homosexuality, 34% because of racism, and finally 16% based on religion. And again, this was back in 2008, so naturally things have changed now. So I'm curious to see what that survey would be now, but and the percentages would be. But those are my slides. Hope you enjoy. Thank you.
Ways to measure our biases. There are many ways to measure our biases when it comes to self-censorship. Some ways are advocating for our students, being proactive when educating ourselves, and also preparation for challenges. In Moshner's Challenging Self-Censorship, he notes, to prevent such challenges from leading to self-censorship, school librarians can protect students' intellectual freedom and information access by adopting the following 3 measures: proactively educating themselves, ensuring that their school implements an official plan of action for dealing with challenges, and using their people skills and interpersonal communication skills to proactively and interactively educate their school community.